What is up, good people? Welcome to Excellence Personified with Elijah L. Harris. I am him, Mr. Elijah L. Harris himself. Man, thank you for taking the time to join me. I absolutely appreciate it, each and every one of you, each and every time. Full disclosure, I had to emphasize that I am him part because I got to remind myself who I am. Sometimes I forget, but I am him. Welcome to Excellence Personified. If you haven't been here before, if this is your first time tapping in, welcome to my excellence community, as I like to call it. You are more than welcome to stick around however long you want or however long you don't want. But just know that around here, we fully believe that you have excellence already living inside of you. We're just waiting for you to see it, uncover it, ignite it, and let everybody see it. And so we talk about what that looks like, what that feels like, the peaks, the valleys. It's not always sweet, but it's in there. I'm excited about this one. I got one of my brothers. We go way back. I'm gonna talk to him. We're gonna hear a little bit about his story and how he's impacting the community. But before we do that, just like I do on every other episode, I gotta let you know how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. Mental, emotional check-in. Full disclosure, like I said, I had to hype myself up a little bit in the beginning. I haven't recorded anything in some weeks now, and sometimes when you fall off a little bit, you gotta get back on track. So it's the new year. Last time I recorded, it was not 2025. Welcome to the new year. And unlike most, you want to hit the ground running, with your New Year's resolutions or your one word or whatever it is. I feel like I've been kind of slow motioning my way into 2025, low key. Just trying to get my mind right, trying to get my heart right. I know what I want to do for this year. I'm gonna record that on a different episode probably. I know what I want this year to look like, but I'm still ramping up, I think. I feel like a little bit. Got some things I feel like that's dwelling on my heart a little bit. And yeah, so I'm working through some of that stuff, but I'm giving myself some grace and working through it on my own time. So if I had to give you a number, I would say I'm probably oftentimes I say I'm at a 6 or a 7. I'm at about a 6.5. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not in the trash, but I'm not firing on all cylinders just yet. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. But part of that for me is getting on here and talking about excellence and not forgetting who I am, what I'm here for, what I feel pulled and called to do. And part of that is this show. I have fun with it, but at the same time, it pours into me, it uplifts me. And I know for those that do tap in and listen, you might get a little something from it too. So let me not forget my gift and unwrap it and use it. So this is how we moving into 2025. And I'm excited. We got a guest in the building. We got a guest in the building. Let me introduce you to this man right here and introduce him the right way, right? Like I say, I wanna model my show after kind of like after the pivot. I like to shout them out. They worthy of it. You feel me? The pivot is a solid show. But when I bring people on, I want to hype you up like my man Shannon Sharp. You feel what I'm saying? If you listen or you watch Club Shay Shay, when he bring people on, he lets you know, look who I got in the building. Look who I got in the building. So joining me on Excellence Personified today, we have the boys basketball head coach for Mount Hebron, teacher, mentor, all county, all decade football, offensive football star from Mount Hebron back in the day. He is now coaching at his alma mater, graduated from Albright College, and doing big things out here in the community, in the county that he grew up in. We have Mr. Malik Gilmore on Excellence Personified. Welcome to the show, my guy.
What's up, my bro? How are you?
I'm good. How
Thank
you
you for
feeling?
having me. Good, I'm good. Thank you for having me, bro.
Well, yeah, most def, most def. I'll tell you, when I thought about putting the show together, you got to write out a list of people that you want to have on, and you were one of them people. You were one of them people because I know what you're doing now, and you have the opportunity to touch and impact a lot of people, which we'll get into and talk about. But your story is so diverse, and like you've gone from point A to point B to point C, and you've done it, you've stayed true to who you are through all of it, right? Through the peaks, through the valleys. And I think that's worth highlighting. So had to have you, had to have you.
Appreciate it. I feel honored.
Not to mention, I won't hog the mic. It's important for people to know, like when you grow up where you do things with people, like there's excellence walking alongside you each and every day. Other people might not know it, they may not get a chance to see it, but sometimes you just gotta look around you and recognize kind of who you with. So had to have you.
Appreciate that.
Had to have you. All right. So let's start off with something easy, right? So like I mentioned, you're now a teacher at Mount Hebron. What is one of the most off the wall stories from like one of your students? Don't name no names. Something that a weird situation you got put in, you had to step into and handle
That's every day, every day,
every day.
every day. Because I'm in high school, so it's like I'm gonna hear the attitudes. I'm gonna hear like I got a few students. They'll tell me like anything and everything they want. Like they think like I'm their friend. I gotta remind them, yo, whoa, whoa, I'm not your friend. We
Hmm.
15 years apart. You gotta remember that. 15 years older than you. I'm not your friend. Yeah, yeah, I'm young. Nah, can't tell me some of the things y'all be trying to tell me. I definitely cut them back on some things they be trying to tell me,
Hmm.
but I can't even. There's too many things that have gone on in the last like 4 years while I've been like since I got into this career that I can't even think of one right now. But
I feel you on that.
yeah,
Kids of all ages will run you for your money. Like
yep.
whether you got it to give or not, they will come running for it.
It's the reason why I don't take my wallet into school anymore, bro. That was my first mistake. Took my wallet in. Oh, Mr. G, can I get $1? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The next thing I know, after the week, I'm like, I'm $30 short.
Mm.
The wallet stayed in the car from now on.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. All right. So I mentioned that your upbringing has taken many turns, I would say, over the years. How would you, if someone asked you, like, how did you grow up? What did that look like? How would you describe that for them? Where did you start and kind of how you ended up, kind of at Mount Hebron in high school?
So from how it starts, I grew up in a single family home. My mom raised me. My mom raised me. My brother raised me. They did a great job doing it throughout the time. And not only that, I have many male mentors as like my coaches and other people who I still talk to today that have like helped me continue to grow as a man. That helped me out big time, especially like one who coached us, Coach Tony, and then like Coach
Yeah.
rest in peace, Coach Joe Randall. He was another one for me. And then not even that, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman's always helped. But the biggest thing that's helped me, and when I got to Hebron, first in middle school, when I was playing wide receiver and you were my quarterback,
Mm.
that kind of started the gist. It was like, all right, so then a couple schools started reaching out to me: River Hill, Calvert Hall, Loyola, St. Francis. Before St. Francis got big,
Wow.
St. Paul's, Cardinal Gibbons before it shut down. So then I tried it in
Wow.
McDonough. So I took the test, and at the end of it, St. Francis was the one that was kind of giving me the most money to come there and like looking out for me. So I was like, it's a jump. Like, why not still? I get to play the two sports I love, football and basketball. The other schools, they were like, yo, you got to make a decision. Pick one and one only.
Mm.
I was like, that's tough. Like, how you going to make a high school kid? It's not even high school, a middle school kid at 13, make a decision like that. So it was hard for me. I went to St. Francis my freshman year. Loved it. Loved the opportunity. Got to compete against a lot of guys. Sam Cassell Jr., one of my older mentors, Wayne, RJ Williams, a couple dudes who graduated with me, like Bruce Watkins, Tyler White, Nico Collins. Got a lot of dudes who are big time hoopers here in the state of Maryland, Baltimore, especially in Baltimore City. But like things just didn't pan out the way like I wanted it to or how I thought it was gonna be. Came in as a freshman. I played varsity as a freshman as a wide receiver. Luckily, in the private school ball, you can if you're up there on varsity, you're not getting that much time. You can go down on JV. So because I wasn't getting time at quarterback, they moved me down. And they were like, "Yo, go play Saturday games with JV, play Friday night games with varsity." So I'd be like, "Whoa, what?" So I'm out there playing wide receiver. The next day, I'm playing quarterback. And I'm like, it's a whole different ball game. And then end of the school year started to come. My coach, Mark Karcher, who recruited me to come to St. Francis, he ended up leaving. And then so did Coach Clay, Mike Clay and Ed Clay. They were my two football coaches. And then Mark was my basketball coach. They ended up both leaving St. Francis. So when they left St. Francis, I just kind of was like, all right, I got to make a pivot. And when I decided to make a pivot and a change, it was come back home, come to Howard County. When I was coming back to Howard County, I was trying to figure it out. Like I was like, everybody knew when I was coming back, everybody knew like, hey, Hebron's not it. It's not the thing. It's not the place you want to be. Which is kind of weird because then when I first came back, I tried to go to the whole like Howard, JROTC, Atherton, JROTC. But then I was just like, why do JROTC? Why go to a school that's not in my district or in my community or like that won't feel like home again? And if I don't like it, now I got to stick there for 3 years. So I was like, you know what? Let's try going back home for a second. So when I was going home, the original plan was go home, go to Hebron for a year, and then transfer, go back to private school. I was trying to go back to Calvert Hall. That's where I really wanted to go. But because like the MIAA, you go, you sit a year, red shirt, all this. And I was like, man, it's like college. I don't want to do that yet.
Right.
I'm
That's
trying
crazy.
to put my stats out there.
Yeah.
Went to Hebron, met the coach that summer. Ironically, it was on my birthday. I literally told my mom, I said, I don't want to be at St. Francis no more. My birthday gift is I want to transfer out. We went to Hebron, transferred into Hebron then. And luckily I had a month to think about it because in private school, we got out in like late May. So I was, wow, everybody else was in school. I'm trying to make a decision. I'm talking to my friends, I'm talking to my family, trying to make the right decision that was best for me. And ended up Hebron being the best situation for me. And I'm grateful for it. I had the opportunity to not only be one of the first Black quarterbacks at Mount Hebron High School, but I helped change the program. And not only, I also did that with a dude we played with, Jackson. So that was another impact. When I was coming back, Jackson would call me, talk to me like every day. We'd be like, yo, come on, we need you. So when I originally went in, I'm like, oh, I'm going there to play wide receiver. I'm going there to play safety. I'm going to play DB. They was like, no, you're the quarterback. You don't play defense here. I said, all right. So then that's how I ended up at Hebron. And it was the almost best 3 years of my life. Like that was a great 3 years, especially changing the program around. We went from 1-9, my sophomore year, 1-9, my junior year, 4-6, my senior year, first time in playoffs in 12 years. So it was like we just flipped it. We started the gate out 5-0. We had a couple injuries. A couple dudes we grew up playing with, like Marty, Jackson, all of them. We all started going down. Jackson tore his labrum. I tore my ACL. Marty tore his labrum. So then after that, it was just like,
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it was a wrap. So then it was like, all right, on to the next thing. Let's see where I can go for the next level.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting, and I'm sitting here thinking about you kind of in general, the path you took, you had a lot of opportunities to just like pave your own way. Like nothing was really cut out for you to just walk straight and just go. And I think that has kind of helped to mold you a little bit in terms of being able to be who you are. Do you look back on that and realize that about yourself and like how you've built that skill to be able to be resilient through these different situations and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I take it all the way back to like Little League. People don't even know this. When I was playing 7-9, I played for Coach Joe. First year, we won his championship. Second year, we went undefeated, unscored upon. People don't really know my first year. I was a kid that they were begging to get plays in. Oh, yo, he needs to get his plays. No, y'all can't do anything till he gets his plays. So after that, it was kind of like, all right, what I've kind of said is I've always had to get it out the mud. Like the path hasn't been easy, and I'm fine with that. Like I know that God has a place for me, and He's going to lead me the direction. And I always know God's path isn't going to be a straight, narrow direction. It's going to give you your ups, your downs, your bumps, your curt. Like it's going to be like all this: go down, go back up, go here. You might be looking 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15 different ways. But at the end of the day, you just got to have faith and keep going. And that's the biggest thing that's helped. I've had faith. I've trusted God
Yeah.
in everything I've done.
Who, on that faith tip, was there anybody that showed you that for you to even realize, like, I might need to have some faith here to be able to walk through some of these things where I can't see the other side to it? Was there anybody that just kind of showed you what that looked like?
Yeah. Tony Cofield.
Hmm.
I don't ever tell people this. At 10 years old, I was ready to quit football. I was ready to call it wraps. I was like, yeah, I'm playing the line. I'm playing. Where they got me playing? I'm playing positions I didn't want to play. And going into our 9/11 year, kind of went to Coach Tony, and I was like, I want to try to play quarterback. I'm gonna try it. I know I probably won't get it. We had you. I was fine with that. I'll be your backup. I'm cool with that. But put me out there on a wideout spot. We could. So I was like, all right, that's it. I wanted to see a different change. And he helped me grasp, like he helped me the whole way through. He helped me become a better quarterback. Not even that, become a better man, period. And he kind of showed me, yeah, people were gonna say, hey, just go here. They're not gonna believe in you, but believe in yourself. And the fact that I was able to see another black man believe in me, it showed me even more. All right, I gotta believe him. I can really believe in myself, and I can do what I can do.
It's amazing you say that. I'm sitting here thinking back to it. Coach Tony, for anybody who's going to listen to this that's in the county, when you say Coach Tony, everybody thinks of one person. And that's Coach Tony Cofield, who has been a mainstay for the Howard County Terps for years now, and just the community in general in the football space. But I'm thinking back to that 9/11 year, and even maybe 8/10, some of those years, and you weren't the standout. Like our teams were super talented. We had really good coaches who could see the light in you, like they could see the potential in you, but you weren't the guy. Like you helped, but you weren't the guy yet. So for Coach Tony to be, that guy to help pour into you and be like, I see something in you. Don't lose sight of yourself. Like I see it. But if you run away from it, you'll never see it. You'll never have it. I think that means a lot, and he did that for a lot of us, a lot of people, whether you had that gift at that point in time or not. Now let's not misconstrue this. You might have been my backup that one year, but we all knew you could sling it. Like you could throw it further than I could, and it might not go exactly where you wanted it to go at the time,
I was
but
just
you could
talking.
throw it. You could throw it. It'll get down there.
Appreciate you, bro.
No, you good. But yeah, I just want to highlight that Coach Tony. He's that guy. But then you also mentioned like your brother and I call him Pops or Mr. Freeman and all these different coaches and people that you've had along the way. Can you talk to like how all of them poured into you and like you've taken different things from different people and made you kind of the teacher, the coach, the figure that you are now? Like when you think back, what are some of the things that you feel like you've taken from them?
Um, Things I've taken, something I've learned from my brother. With my brother as a young age, he same thing, came from a single family home, single parent home. My mom raised him too. Just seeing how much he worked. At 24, he was a millionaire. So I got to see him touch. He was touching $1 million at the age of 24. He was a millionaire. Had multiple properties in Miami, DC, all this other stuff. So I got to see that. So now I'm like, so I'm looking at another black man making $1 million.
Mm,
If he can do it, I can do it. So that kind of helped me. And a lot of people will be like, and then like with Pops, 7th grade year, I didn't play basketball because of Pops. My grades were awful. Pops said, went straight to my mom, he can't play. Let him sit back and watch this. 7th grade, that was the worst time of my life. I never failed a class after that. Never. I took academics serious from there. I thought like, oh man, I'm an athlete. I'm good, pure talent. But then once he kind of showed me like, yo, academics is going to take you a lot further than sports was. And at the time, I didn't know, had no idea that I would have multiple injuries and all this other stuff. Where I had to say, you know what, I got to step back from playing the playing the sports that I love to get to where like I am now. Which that was a bumpy ride for a little bit too, but
yeah.
they've all helped. And like even to now, like Pops, he's on my staff right now. Like when I first got the job 4 years ago, I called him. I said, "Yo, I got a job. What's up? You trying to come out of retirement?" And little bro Kiani still in college doing all. He's like, "No, I gotta watch him travel. I gotta see him graduate." Man, Kiani walked across that stage. All right, he across stage now. What's up? Year 3. What's up? What we doing? He came on. So then ever since then, he's helped me become not even a better man, but a better coach. And it's helped, and you can sees on the sideline, and it sees like what we done in the program so far.
I mean, the epitome of taking something and flipping it and turning it around.
Hmm.
And that's one of the big things now that I look at you and I'm like the impact that you have is it's hard to miss. Like especially if you are watching Mount Hebron, around Mount Hebron, especially the football program, basketball program, you see your footprint, your imprint on it from a historical perspective, but also now, like coming back and making it happen. And just to not overlook, you mentioned it, Pops. Like Pops is, I mean, he's Pops. Like anybody that he brings under his wing, you get that energy, that father figure from him. And I can say, as one who also grew up in a single parent household, I mean, I appreciate that immensely. Like it's priceless. Because you don't see what it looks like or what it feels like, I guess, to be a man
Hmm.
day in and day out. So you got to see it from other people. And it may not come the same way, as maybe some other people, but it sticks. And eventually when you need to use that stuff, it's there. So shout out to Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just going back to you being at Hebron, what you going from being a student there and being I guess a student athlete there and now being a coach, what does it mean to you now to be in that position, to be able to kind of give back to the students that are coming through there now?
I feel like for instance, this year our word is community at the school. Back in 2016, I had an opportunity. My guidance counselor, Irene Badamosi, she reached out to me when I was in college. This was going into my junior year of college. I was actually sophomore year. I was home for the winter break. She goes, "Hey, we're having an alumni day. By chance, are you available?" And I was like, "Yo, you went to bat for me to write my letter of recommendations, especially after tearing my ACL. Like a lot of people don't know, tearing my ACL senior year killed me. When Towson told me you're never going to be the same person ever again, I think that was my fuel right there. And then everybody, I saw AP do it. He came back in 6 months. I said, if AP can do it, why can't I? So I busted my tail. 7 months back, no brace, no nothing. But when I got to college, they didn't clear me all the way. So I was just like, I'll take it. I'll take my lumps. I'll come back when when y'all are ready to clear me. But like that helped, and she helped me find Albright College. If it wasn't for her and Albright like reaching out, trying to find something to my coach Zacharias, I probably would have never went to Albright. Would have never known. You could have showed me what Albright was, and I'd be like, I don't even know that place. I don't care. But it was ended up being the best decision of my life because not only that, I got to go to school and play with guys who I grew up with, like Dante and Andrew Young. Like
Right.
it's like, yo, I'm going to school with two dudes from Maryland who I played. Funny thing about story about Dante, me and Dante played 7-9 together. We were on that undefeated unscored upon team.
Mhm.
We played with each other. He left, went to the Warriors, played against each other. He ended up going to Sherwood, goes to Albright. They show up on what is it? Spring game. We all like, yo, you committed here? Oh, it's a wrap. We already know what's about to happen. So then it was like, oh, that was love from there. So being like a Howard County player now turned into coach, it's a blessing because it's like, all right, I'm back in my community and I'm giving back to the kids who might not know what to do in life. Like I was that kid. Like after college, I didn't know what I wanted to do or what I wanted to do after high school. I was like, I'm trying to figure this stuff out. I'm trying to figure life out. And not only that, I'm a black male in a school system where you don't see that very often. So I'm also trying to show like the black kids, and not only the black kids, but everybody else in all the other races, yo, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And I think ever since like our principals talked about community all year, and I feel like that's what we're doing right now. We're embracing the community, and I'm not the only one who's came back from Hebron. We got 29 staff members there. 29 who are alumni from 75 all the way up to 2016. So it's like we got people there, and it's like we know what the Hebron tradition is like and how it is. We can now feed it back into the kids who are in the community, and now we can. And it's been a blessing. Like I'm not only doing good on the boys' side, the girls' side, they're doing phenomenal right now. They're third in the county. Nobody expected it this year. They got a new head coach. He's a Hebron alum. He's a Hebron grad. We're just trying to change the culture there. That's basically what's going on right now. We're just changing and flipping the culture, and it's a blessing.
That's what's up. Shout out to the girls team too. I could tell you, you earned a fan off of me, a fan of Hebron, just from the strength of, not just me knowing you, being your boy, but what you're doing there, what you built. And it is all about culture. And they have someone there right now, like in you and some of the others, I'm sure, who you were built off of community. Like everything about you is community. It's been community. Like so for you to be there and be able to reflect that onto Hebron as a whole, really, I guess, is really cool.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, when Miss Badmosi asked me to come speak in
Hmm.
2019, I was like, I went back and spoke again in 2019, and I was like, we did a college like panel. It was PW. What's the difference for like we had something when I was there called Quad A, African American Awareness Association. We now call it BSU.
Okay.
I was a vice president at the time. So what they did is they reached out to the presidents and the vice presidents. They reached out to all of us. Hey, we need y'all to come back. We're going to speak a panel. Some that went to PWIs. Luckily, Albright PWI went there, and then we had an HBCU side. So then it's like walking into it. I'm like, yeah, I'll come talk this, that, and the other stuff. When I sat down, I'm like, yo, where's everybody? Like, it was. at the time there was more females willing to come listen to the panel than there was males. And I was like, that's an issue. What's going on? And then I went to my mentor, T. Carter, who was working at school at the time. And I was like, man, mark my word. I'm going to come here. I'm going to work here. I'm going to teach here. And I'm going to be a coach here. Watch, I'm about to change everything. I was joking at first. I swear I was joking. I did not want to get into teaching. I was just like, I'm just joking. 2020 hits, get a phone call. Malik Gilmore, we got a job for you at Mount Hebron High School. I'll take it. Sure. At that time, I was about to hit 26. Benefits was about to start kicking in. So I was like,
Facts.
yeah, I'll take it. Need free benefits.
Yeah.
I need that.
Hey, you better be careful what you put in the atmosphere. God will take it. And I think you mentioned being able to impact the young, like the boys or the young men. How has your growth journey reflected in how you show up for them and like what you're able to pour into them based off of what you've been through?
Luckily at the school, we have a security guard who used to work there. He's not there anymore. He works with higher up in the county. His name is Melvin Kinney. Before I got there, he started a group called Men's Rising. Basically, a mentoring group for young Black men, giving them the opportunity to not only see superintendents, judges, doctors. We take them on college visits, college tours, all this other stuff. When I got into the school, he came up to me one day. Was like, "Hey, I have a program in a club. I kind of want you to like be a part of." And I didn't hesitate. There was no second guess. It was no, I'll think about it. It was, all right, what you need me to do? I'm here. I got you. So what we do is we do meetings with them. And ironically, Xavier Haywood, who works with me, played with us. He's also with the
Yeah.
program with us. So it's like, it's another positive role model that you get to see. And it's just something I was just like, all right, I could do it. So like we got a visit for Howard coming up in the springtime and showing the kids like there's other things because so many, especially coming from a Black family household, we're always taught from the rip, yo, you got to play your sport, and this is going to get everybody out of it. Focus on sports and
Mm.
sports only. So then now it's like we're trying to teach them, yo, you can focus on sports. Focus on the backup plan just in case too, because sports
Yeah.
isn't always going to be there. So now some of the kids have been like, yeah, like we had a kid a couple years ago, track kid. He's been in the program, didn't know what he wanted to do. Now he's at an HBCU on a full ride scholarship running track. We got another kid who had the opportunity to coach, who was part of the program. Two kids, actually. I got one at Morgan. I got one at Virginia State. And then we got another one at Shenandoah. They were part of the programs. And they all come from like single family homes or they come from a broken home. And we're trying to show them, like, yo, we came from it too. Don't let your situation hold you back from trying to chase your dream and chase your goal. Yeah, you can go get it, but don't hold back from it. Put it all in. And they invested. And luckily, my guy Cam, I'm even gonna give him a shout out. My guy Cam, he's at Virginia State.
Shout out to Cam.
He actually crossed over last year.
Where?
Yeah, yeah, Sigma. Yup. So yeah, so I was proud of that. Like seeing that and like
All right, Fred.
feeling like being able to be in their impact and the fact that they still reach out and like reach out to me now today to talk and just communicate and ask questions. It's just like a blessing. They gave them an extra mentor, big brother in their pocket that they didn't even know they were gonna have.
Mm. Those are the types of things where you don't realize how necessary that is until you start growing up and you start going through things that you've never seen, never been through. But when you're equipped with like a certain tool belt, because there are people in place to build you up and add tools to that tool belt, you feel like you can handle things and not crash out, as the kids like to say, because otherwise
The
it get rough.
maybe have your young boy moments.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So let's spin it to basketball and talk about the season so far. Let's see, we're about midway through the regular season, roughly. You guys are what, 7-2?
9-2 overall, 7-1 in the county.
9-2 overall, 7-1 in the county. I think you mentioned nobody was really checking for Hebron like that. Definitely not to be at the top of the county, to be vying for that county championship. What are your thoughts on the season so far, and what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Season so far, I'm happy where we're at so far. Is the job done? nowhere near close. And that's something that not only I'm preaching, my staff's preaching. We preach it every day. Job's not done. Last year, we had the opportunity to win our side of the division, which is now the county's broken down to Summit Sahara. So we won the Summit division. It was the first time ever, inaugural season, Summit division champs. All right, that was cool. We got to host a playoff game, which that was something that that was part of my year 3. This is our goal. We need to host a playoff game. We hosted Howard. We beat Howard, and then we were going to the regional final game. So those were okay, check. We got those 2 checked off, but we ended up losing to the state championships, Northeast High School in Anne Arundel County. We ended up losing to them, and I have it printed, the scoreboard from that game. After the game, I took a picture. I printed it out. I wrote "Job's not done." I hung it up in my room. Every day since then, I looked at that, and I've been dedicated to. Last year was cool, but we need to do more. And my guys have bought into doing it, from being in the weight room 24/7, making sure they were at all the summer league, fall league, any type of things, making sure they were going to the team camps that we did before the school year started and stuff. That way they could get exposure into college and see college coaches and all this other stuff. And ever since then, they just bought in, and they're hungry. And every time I talk to them, they're like, "Coach, we're hungry. Job's not done. Yeah, we're winning games. Job's not done. We want a bigger goal. Yeah, we can get a county championship, but we don't want that. We want a state title. That's what we want, and we want to bring it back. We haven't had a state title at Hebron since 1984 in basketball, since Barry Young, Perry Young, Cliff Reese, and they want to be that difference maker and that change. And they were like, "Coach, we can do that. We know we can do it." I'm like, "All right, come on," and they're stepping up to the occasion. So I love it.
I hear that. And I think what's interesting about what you said too is that all of that stems from the pain of losing last year. Like and it starts with taking a picture of that, focusing on that, and not forgetting what it felt like and what it looked like to end the season like that, and then just passing that energy down to the team and getting that buy-in from that. I think it's important too because a lot of times in life in general, things stem from the pain that we go through and how we lose and how we bounce back from it. And sports obviously is like a direct metaphor to life and how it reflects. But I just want to highlight that this is a living, breathing example of what it looks like to bounce back from a loss actively, intentionally, right?
Hmm.
I was going to ask you what makes this team special, but to me it seems like this is right here is what makes this team special. Is there anything else to you that just stands out as we got a really rock solid group
Yeah.
that we gonna walk into the playoffs with?
So I took over this program 4 years ago. My seniors, they were my year 1s. My juniors, they were my year 2s. So my seniors saw the lumps I took my first year, 1-16. Second year, they saw me take my lumps again, 6-14. Bunked out first round playoffs, lost by 27. Both years back to back, lost by 27 to Howard, which third time the charm. And the thing everybody says, you can never win the third time. Howard had to come to us and come home. We had to play there. We had to play at home, not at Howard, not anywhere else. We played at home, and it was just like a hunger. So it's been like a foundation, like building a house. Like we started brick by brick by brick by brick, and we built brick by brick by brick by brick. And each kid is bought into everything. So it's been a blessing. So they already know, hey, they're the foundation of, hey, we're making this change. We're changing that culture. When we all grew up, we all knew, especially after we graduated, Hebron in sports, trash. And when I found out when I took over the program, well, I did not know what I was getting into when I took over the program. Let's say that. But when I took it and I found out, I'm started looking at the school. I'm like, let me look at these JV kids who are about to be on my varsity, getting blown out 60, 70 points. I'm like, yo. I said, all right, we got to
Good.
change some things. So the first year, they didn't really buy, the junior class bought in. The seniors was like, and I kind of played the seniors because it was we were coming back from the pandemic. So I was like, yo, let me get you guys your 20 games and get you guys out of here. That way you guys can say you guys missed your whole junior year. You missed. So let me give you what you guys need. So then I gave them that. And I was like, all right, now I took my lumps and I brought 3 sophomores up with me my second year, who were 2 of them are captains right now for me. And one of them last year missed 13 games with a broken wrist, who I think in my eyes might be the county player of the year. He's done a great job. A couple games ago, he had 25 and 8 for us. He's a guard. He can go play 1 through 3. He can play. He can play 1 through 5 for me because last year there was times I put him at the 5 when I wanted to go small ball, and he did it, and it was a blessing. So it's like I got guys who will be like, "Yo, coach, whatever you need from me, I'm gonna do it," and I
Yeah.
can't ask for nothing more.
And yeah, you get the buy-in, you set the culture, and people follow suit.
So,
Do you see as you're like taking your lumps and growing as a coach, do you see yourself reflecting the coaches that you had growing up?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then not even that. I'll reach out to a few of them, especially like Coach Tony. I stay in contact with him all the time. My brother, he coached me playing basketball, so I can reach out to him whenever I want. And not only that, like I got other mentors, Dion Wingfield, Jansen McMillan, who've been in the basketball world, who've helped me grow not only as a just grow as a coach. And like over the summer, I was in so many coaches clinics. Thankful from like Jansen put me on and connected me through to put me on through that stuff. I got another mentor, Jared Ingram. He's over at Mary's Ridge. He's athletic director there. He gave my first job as a coach ever when I was in Baltimore City, and now he's in Howard County. And he says, "Bro, you've grown marvelously, and you've done a great job." But when I feel like I'm not doing good, I'll still call them, ask them questions because we're all not perfect. We all still need help. So there's things that we're still building on to be. And I even kind of told myself when I first took the job, yo, I'm trying to be the black Coach K, yo. Make it happen here. I love the fact that I can reach out to any of my coaches that I ever had like the opportunity to play for, and they can like just open up and just talk to me and give me little mental things that I can do to be a better coach.
I mean, you got to speak it into existence for it to happen. So if you gonna kind of wheel and deal and be that dude, be that Black Coach K, hey, call it like it is.
Right?
You kind of alluded to it a little bit as far as things that you might need to work on, right? Like I'm singing your praises, and I told you I would. That's what I'm here for. But at the same time, I know the way you think, and I know that you're not perfect, and none of us are perfect. But what are some of those things that are just like pains in the side for you that you know you need to work on that might be holding you back from being even better than you are now?
There's some things like my past, 2016 to 2020, hung out with the wrong people, did a lot of not a lot of stupid stuff, but just hung around the wrong crowd, hung around the wrong people because like I said at the time, I didn't know who I was. I was still trying to find my identity, especially after sports, which young athletes will let you know now, like when the time is over, like for you to like call sports done, it's the hardest thing to do. It messes with your mental because you're like, yo, I'm like to break it down like the science. I was that 1% in college that got to play sports, or that under 10% that got to play college sports. I was almost that little tiny percent that gets to the NFL or gets to play professional or gets to play overseas. Um, but because of injuries and it just didn't happen. And sometimes I look back at it like, dag, I wish this injury didn't happen. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When I first got to college, yeah, I was All American my sophomore year. I was like, man, if I ain't had this ACL injury, man, I'd be at South Carolina, Michigan State, all the other schools that recruited me and be like, yo, I'm that dog. What's up? But then the blessing of being at Albright is what I needed to kind of hold me back a little bit because my senior year, I was feeling myself a little too much. I'll say that. And stopped doing what got me to where I was. And then the injuries happened. So then I was like, all right. So then I kind of got back in what I needed to get into, got back into my faith, stayed in the church, stayed in everything else. Went to college, continued to read my Bible, and that helped big time. Something I still do now to help me journal. But it's just like my past. It's hard. Like part of me is like now I'm like, oh, I'm through. I'm done with it. I washed it off. I washed it off me. The biggest thing I use, motto I use, I even say to my kids, a duck gets rained on. What does that duck do? He shakes it off. So no matter when things are going good for me, when going bad for me, and I feel like, yo, I'm not the guy who I am, or I'm not living up to the expectations of myself, which is also I've done a great job of lowering my expectations a little bit, but I kept my expectations high. Like, hey, I want to get here, but I've made small goals to get there. I'm not like, yo, I gotta hit this home run. I gotta knock it out the park. And that's what I was doing when I was younger. Between 2016 to 2020, I was trying to make home runs, knock it out the park to try to fix what I was like, feel like I was missing. But now I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm living. I'm blessed. I look at back from where I was to where I am now, from where I grew up to how I am now. Like, like I had a teacher tell me when I was younger, when you're 18, you might be 6 feet under. You're not going to go play college ball. You're not going to go do. So that was like kind of my fuel. It was like it pushed me, but then I like reeled back into the crowd that kind of like when I was back in high school, I let that crowd get me and I was like, dang. But after that, I just shook it off like a duck and I just keep it moving. And we're not going to have our great days. We're all not perfect. But at the end of the day, I know, hey, I'm doing everything I can to get one step closer to being where I want to be.
Yeah, that's well put. I think resilience is, I mentioned at the beginning, that is one of the most important skills I think that you build as you get older and go through stuff, is being able to figure out like, one, what am I going through? Two, what works for me to be able to shake it like a duck? And three, how do I get back, get back up and keep walking? And you kind of can't build that unless you do go through stuff.
Yeah.
So, to your point, to anybody that's young, that's listening or watching this, like, you're going to go through some stuff that you've never gone through before. And you're going to have to learn things about yourself that you've never learned before and figure out how to handle it as best you can. And don't think that that's going to go away, because it don't. As you get older, it just changes. It might be something different, something new you got to learn about yourself, shake it off, and keep walking.
Yeah. And not only
But
that,
that skill,
I've
yeah,
also
go
had
ahead.
I've also had like my circle. I have a great circle that I know that when I'm out of line, I'm out of check, they check me. And I'm blessed for that. Like I'm blessed for the people that I have around me, like you. I got Purcell, I got Tyler, I got my Dante. Like I said, like me and Dante played together. We even run a business together. I even got his brothers in my circle, Godfrey, and like my other homeboys from
Dr.
like
Godfrey.
my other homeboys from college. Like I got my homeboy Khalid, Paco, Andrew Young. I got Malik
Yeah.
Jackson, my man Wop, my man Coach, all them. So my man Vinny Black.
Hmm.
It's like 13 of us. We all hold each other accountable. It's like, yo, you slacking, get it together. And
Yeah.
within that time, me being around the circle I have, I've been able to be blessed to be around their circles as well too, and be around their lives where they've introduced me to people that have also helped me build and be a better person.
That community, like you mentioned, I mean, you need it. You need it. I think sometimes we find us, well, some people, I would say. I think I too was blessed to have a certain community that I grew up with that kind of kept an eye on me, made sure I was good. Some people, they just don't have it. They don't have that, and it's not always their fault. But sometimes you got to figure out like, where are my people? Where am I gonna who am I gonna connect myself to continue to be able to grow? Can you can you think about a time that almost broke you? Because as you think about like yourself as a person, myself as a person, anybody, none of us are perfect, right? We're all kind of broken individuals trying to put our pieces back together. Can you think about a time that almost broke you, that you had to dig the deepest to really pull yourself out of?
I'm going 2018. I dealt with a lot. Lost my aunt. I think the thing that really broke me was my grandfather. Growing up, that was my male figure. That was my role model. I lost my grandfather 2 weeks before my birthday, 7 days before Father's Day. And I think that breaking me, and I was in college still. I was up at Reading. I was in Reading still. After I graduated, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I'm like, oh, I might just live up here. But I feel like that breaking me was when I dug down the deepest, and that brought me back home. And I feel like that was like God saying, "Go home. You need to go home. That way, I can like realign and shift some things for you. That way, you could be who you are." Me lose my grandfather. He's tatted on me. That way, I can see it every day. That hurt. It hurt big time. And then I would think that's it. And then other after that, I would say sports. 2018, I was pursuing to go overseas, trying to figure things out. 29, I decided to play some flag football. 18, tore my ACL, MCL, IT band, both meniscus. I broke. I cracked again. I was just like, and that was when I was at my lowest because that's when I had to say, sports is finally over. And when sports was finally over for me, I was like, who am I? Who am I without sports? And that made me really dig deep to find who Malik Gilmore really is. And I'm glad sports is over. I'm glad I'm not playing in the NFL or playing overseas, playing basketball. I love what I'm doing. God knew what he was doing with me to put me in this position. So I'm just blessed that God had me go through my trials and tribulations to bring me out and bring me out of my storm to bring me to where I'm at now. But I know the storm's not over yet. Storm's never going to be over. But the light's at the end. I know that.
You put up an umbrella, you keep walking.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was there that day you tore your everything. That Joan, it was tragic. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah.
It was just like golly, because we all knew like it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
And then I ain't touch a ball for 3 years. In three
I
years,
don't blame you.
pick a football up. And even coaching, I was like, don't give me that football. Don't put that ball near my hand. I did not want to be near a ball. I did not want to at all.
It's trauma.
Yeah.
But I will say though, all of that happening, the end of sports specifically, you going to the league or going overseas or any of those things, all that would have did was delay what you ended up going through immediately
Mm-hmm.
upon getting hurt. Right? There was the physical pain of going through it, and then there was the emotional pain of bouncing back and trying to figure out who you were. But you got a chance to do that earlier and be able to get on track and start coaching and teaching and all these things.
Yeah.
Whereas, this just would have been a few years later, whenever your career ended, you'd have to do the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
There's that. Um, I talk we play with Tyler now, and Tyler considers you like the man of the people, the politician, the president. How do you take that? What do you think about that? I see what he's saying, but what do you think?
I would say it's true. I'm the politician life of the party. I even told somebody the other day, like, yo, the party don't start without me. Luckily, without like, if it wasn't for Tyler reaching out to me when I like was first trying to figure things, because I was talking to Tyler before I tore my ACL, and then after I tore my ACL, I was like, oh, he's like, yo, come back and play. I'm like, bro, I ain't coming out back out there. I'm playing no sport. I ain't touching no turf. I ain't touching nothing. But he kind of helped push me through all that. He brought me back and he goes, bro, they're starting a team. You're the quarterback. You're not playing defense. Go find who you want. And I'm like, all right, shoot, all right. So then he was like, yo, I got two dude, which luckily I went to high school with Chris. So I already knew Chris. So me, Tyler, and Chris all went to high school together. But then I got the opportunity to meet Luke, best DB in the league, hands down. Don't throw at my man's. He's picking everything. I'm letting y'all know that right now. Um,
Mos Def.
yeah, and then after that, it just kind of trickled, and it was just like I kept telling him, I was like, "Yo, I know more people. I know more people. I know more people." And I look at our team, like we've been together for what 6, 7 seasons now. We've been to the semifinals 5 times, been to the finals
Mhm.
twice and lost. So it's like no matter at the end of the day, yeah, we have not got it done yet. I know we're all talking about when we do get it done, we're retiring, we're calling it wraps. But we love it. It's like, yo, we can still play football on Sundays and we can still play it. Like we get to play opportunity to still play the game that we love. And it's just been a
That's all that
blessing. I'm
matters.
happy that I know the people who I know. Sometimes I even will say, some people know me, but I don't know them. And I'm okay with that. That means like if people know me, that means I'm doing something great. I'm doing something positive. If people
Yeah.
and people will talk and people talk positively about me. Now, if I was doing the wrong, then it would be like, oh, it's a negative personification of me. And then, but that's not what's happening. So it's like me being able to meet people and being able to be in people's lives and do all this other stuff. I feel like it's just who God made me to be in a way, just a
That's what
politician
it is.
leader.
Yeah. Yeah, don't resist it. You're in a position for a reason.
Yeah,
I think you're just walking in it. You're just walking in, and there's no shame in that. Trust and believe. Everybody's playing their part. So it's just who you are. So we're gonna start to wrap the show. So you're on here because you are excellence personified. And I want people to hear that from me, from you, and just kind of get a chance to get to know you. But what keeps you going? What do you see next for you? If you could look kind of down the road, or just what keeps that fire burning?
Helping the kids, helping the kids. I can see myself in the next few years. When I first got in education, I told everybody I want to be an athletic director. Do I see that now? Maybe in high school, yeah, maybe. We'll see. In reality, I think I might take the coaching a little bit more serious a little bit. I feel like I could be a college coach somewhere. I feel like I could not run a college program, not off rip, but by the time I'm in like my early 40s, 10 years from now, possibly could do it to a point that maybe, hey, I might be a GM in the NBA or something. That's where I kind of feel like myself is swaying to. It's like, yeah, I love being in education. I love being able to help the kids and do everything else. And I'm loving the sports. And somehow it's weird that sports hasn't ended for me yet. The fact that now I'm in the coaching world. So I feel like I have a lot more to go with me in the coaching world. And I just had the opportunity to talk to another athletic director about that recently, and an assistant principal who I've been able to talk to from another school, where they're like, I'm like, yo, how do you like the admin life? Da-da-da. And I'm like asking it because I'm like, maybe it's time for you to jump into it. Just jump into it. And then they're like, yo, you're doing great. Soak up all the coaching opportunities you can. And the dude even told me, he goes, wait 15 years into your in coaching. Combined with football, I am 9 years in coaching, 9 years this year, going in 9 years, which is crazy. But at 15, I don't feel like I'm going to go at admin. I feel like I'm just going to continue to keep coaching. Will it be high school? Who knows? Like, who knows what God has ready for me and in store for me? But whatever He does, I'm ready for the opportunity, and I'm gonna be blessed for it.
Well, I could tell you definitely have the mindset for it. Your heart is in the right place for it. The first thing you said was the kids, right? Which means you're using your position to impact those around you. Your expertise to be able to do something that you love, which is coach a sport that you love. But the heart in it is what I think is going to keep pushing you further. And those that got a chance to see you grow up, they see it. The people that you meet along the way, they see it. Your network is massive, and all that is just equity, just in terms of who you are as a person. But at the same time, understand where you come from and continue to burn that fire and just keep going. So that's what I would say. And everything that you just spoke into existence, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Not one bit.
Appreciate
Not one bit.
that.
So
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Well, I'm hoping. That's I hope.
hey,
Hey, look, I said I might be the next Black Coach K. You know, I'm a Duke basketball fan. So if Duke give me a call,
hey,
I'm off. I'm out. I'm out. I'm gone. Cameron indoors. Here we come.
yeah, sure enough. You'll have a whole black fan base will migrate to Duke, unlike never before.
Yeah,
Well, they have had a black coach. Well, Coach K been there.
they've had assistant coaches.
Yeah, I ain't never seen no black coach over there.
What's
Okay.
this? Hey, I was the first black head coach at Mount Hebron at 26.
Hmm.
I'm pushing. I'm now 30.
Let's see.
I'm 30.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
30 this year. Big 3-0.
it's crazy.
The fact that, and when I even said it when at 26, yeah, I'm flipping this joint, bro. I said, wait, watch before I turn 30. This joint be jumping. That school is jumping at them games.
That's love. That's love. All right. Last thing I'll ask you. Uh, you've already shouted out like at least 15 to 20 people. But is there anybody or anything that you want to give a shout out to that you see also as being excellence personified, or just to give somebody a shout, just a spotlight, just while I got you on? Anything come to mind? Anybody come to mind?
Yeah, my guy, Donnie Thomas, greatest in the making. My guy, he's an entrepreneur. He works. He's a businessman. He's a rapper. He's a singer. He's whatever you need. Donnie has made songs that has helped me get through a lot and has like been something that's been pushing. Like right now, he's got this joint called "In the Water." It's on all platforms. He's on all platforms, so check him out. Trust me. And it's just something like it's like something's in the water, something's in the air. I can feel it. So it's like, oh, I feel it. I feel greatness. I feel it. And that's what he's preaching. And he's preaching out to everybody in his songs like, yo, push for greatness. Don't hold yourself back. And that's why GITM, greatest in the making. And he's telling everybody that. Like I even got a shirt that tells him What makes you, that says on the back that people, I wore one time at a wine festival. What makes you great? And somebody I came to, what makes you great? Cool. Now we're starting a conversation. And I told him what made me great. I now said, what makes you great? And it makes you think about it. And just from what he's doing, he's making an impact in the community that people don't even know yet. Like, he's a Howard County rapper. He's done things. He's opened up for Ja Rule. He's opened up for Bone Thugs and Harmony. He's done the Fillmore. He's done Soundstage. He's been to Philly. He's been to Georgia. He's been places. And like, he doesn't even know this. I haven't told him, but like, he's going to take this music game something serious. Yeah, he's 32, but he's going to take it a far way in this music game. It's not done. It's just getting started for him. And I'm happy and I'm proud for him. So he's greatest in the making.
Shout out to my man's Donnie. That's impact right there. That's impact right there. He's a walking, talking model of consistency. Just he walks out what he talks out, and that says a lot for sure. So for those listening, those watching, tap in. I'll add links. Add the ads in the description and everything. So shout out to Donnie. I think that's a wrap, Mr. Malik Gilmore. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, most of. This was a joy to have you, to get a chance to even learn, I think, a little bit more about you, and let people see maybe a different side of you that they may not know, which is perfectly fine. I think just to helps build the image of you, I think, on and off the court. All right, well, we're gonna wrap. Thank you for joining Excellence Personified. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share. Any and all people that were mentioned in this episode, love. And until next time, peace, love, and joy. I'ma holla at y'all.
For all of my people moving around.